Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Hardly Millennial podcast. On this podcast, we are young, dumb, and full of
opinions.
That's right, opinions, folks. Let's see. Today we have, I guess, a little bit of a mix-up when you're hosting. We have Matthew Lynn, myself, and across from me is...
Justin Lunsford at your service.
Yay! No Adam today.
No.
No.
Ever pooped your pants before?
Like, ever or recently?
Ever. Besides, like, when your mom is able to change you.
Yes.
What's the earliest one that you remember?
The earliest? Or like the most recent?
No, the earliest in your life that you can remember when you pooped your pants.
I don't know, probably being like a kid, like 4 or 5, back in like pull-up days.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember pull-ups.
Then why did you say probably if you don't remember exactly the time? I'm talking about that time where it's like, oh my God, I shit my pants. Like maybe 9 or 10 at school. Or...
Well, okay, listen. If we're just going to get into this topic right off the bat here.
It's not even a topic. I just wanted to talk about this.
I've shit my pants quite a few times. Probably more times than the average person.
Please explain yourself.
Okay. So much so that me and a friend of mine back in the day, in my late teens, early 20s, actually would keep track. We would keep count of who shit their pants more that year.
Were you trying to shit yourself?
No, it was just a matter of who legitimately shat themselves more times within the year. Okay,
so my question at this point, in your hometown, was this a common thing where people just... Okay, so how did you happen to have a friend who also shot themselves regularly?
I'm talking like maybe like 3 to 4 times a year, like once a quarter. Once a quarter, we were shitting
quarterly is
ourselves.
A regular shitting in your pants.
Is that regular?
I would say so.
Oh boy, I guess that we kind of just stumbled across it after a year of being friends. It happens, and you tell him about it, and you laugh, and then he ends up telling you about it.
Oh my God, hashtag me too.
It happens again and again, and before you know it, you're keeping track. Okay. We didn't mean to do it. We were just people who happened to have these events in our lives where we shit ourselves.
Okay.
Well, why do you ask? What brings this up?
I'm not going to explain why I'm asking, because when we think of it as something that nobody on the air wants to hear. But
okay.
The earliest that I remember is we were at
Did you shit yourself, Justin?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not. But I have.
Tell us if you did.
I had 2 memorable shittings of myself.
Okay. Please walk us through them.
Yes. There was one time, I don't know how old I was, but I was young enough where it was very practical to carry me around on your shoulders, like with my legs on your shoulders,
okay. So that could be anywhere through 5 to 8 years old.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Right?
Somewhere in there, yeah. So I do recall we were at a parade, and I needed to go to the bathroom. Well, it never crossed my mind that if you had to both poop and pee, that you could just sit down and do both.
Really?
Yeah. So for me, it was no. You stand up to pee and you sit down to poop. So I had to do both, and I thought I had to pee way more. So I went, pulled down my chonies, and then went pee, and I was trying to hold in the poop, and it just rolled out.
And it never occurred to you that when you poop, like in the morning, you pee?
I think that.
Or do you always pee and then sit and poop? Because I feel like everybody goes poop and then they just pee, right?
I maybe as a child I thought that if you were deliberately going,
it just didn't occur to you.
You had to separate them. Yeah, I don't know why. It just
interesting.
I was a kid. A lot of things don't make sense when you're a kid.
So that happened. So well then, okay. So that happened.
And then I remember them telling me, "Why didn't you just sit down?" And I'm like, "I didn't know I was supposed to." All right, got it. Fuck. They had me take my shirt off.
Once shame on me, right?
They had me take my shirt off and tie it around my waist, and it went all the way around like really well because I was a small little kid. So It had like long sleeves. And the other time,
what's the other time?
I was in my 20s, and I was working at the Cheesecake Factory. And I don't know if you're aware of the outfit at the Cheesecake
It's
Factory.
white.
All white.
It is all white.
Well, it used to be white pants too. I think now they wear black pants. Oh. But anyway, yeah, it's all white. I was working a double. And
oh my God.
it's a similar story, actually, unfortunately. I went to the employee bathroom between my shifts. It was a very busy day. And like I said, I was working a double. So you have about an hour and 40 minutes, I think I remember at the time, to come in for your evening shift. And I was taking a pee, standing up, everything at my feet. Apron was hanging up, thank God. But I remember I was taking a pee, and I thought I had a fart. And it wasn't a fart. It was just a
you sharted.
It was, very little gas and mostly watery poo. Came out, and it just dripped all over my white clothes at the bottom. Luckily, my underwear caught most of it. I took them off. I buried them in the trash can with lots of
you just
toilet
went commando
paper.
The rest of the shift?
No, I did not, because there was still some on my clothes, and I cleaned it off. I put my apron on backwards, ran out the back door, called my job as I'm in the car, and said I had to go home. I'm having a medical emergency. I'm so sorry.
That's
and
amazing.
so it was funny. I got on the phone because I just felt like I had to tell somebody, and I called my friend Tracy. I said, "Hey Tracy," she goes, "What?" That's how she talks. What? And I said, "I was at work and I just shat my pants." She goes, "Shut up."
Shut up.
I said, "Yeah, I'm coming over."
I didn't shit my pants. I shit all over my pants.
Yeah.
That's there's actually a past podcast where I've told a story of me.
Oh, really?
In San Diego.
Sorry, missed that one.
Yeah, that's probably the most memorable one I have. You guys can look back to it.
Okay. It's just something
yeah.
I had to get off my chest, something I wanted to talk about.
I'm glad you brought it up, actually.
So
it's refreshing to talk about.
That actually brings us a little closer. It strengthens our friendship, and that just so happens to be our topic today, is friends and friendship.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, are you ready?
I didn't know the friendship coming into this. Nobody told me.
Well,
normally I have time to kind of prepare. Mm-hmm. Today I am fully unprepared.
Were you secretly afraid that the topic of this podcast was going to be about accidental soilings of your own pants via bowel movement?
Ironically, I think I was actually more relieved because I think I could keep that rolling for an hour. But now an actual topic, I'm a little bit nervous. I think I'm nervouser.
More nervous?
I'm more nervous now than I was when we were talking about shitting our pants. But you know, the best way to overcome being nervous is to jump right into it. So let's. It looks like you have a list. It looks like you found a list of questions.
I do.
We love those on this podcast.
So the first question is, what quality do you most value in your friends?
Most value.
What quality of the person makes you most grateful to have them as a friend?
They need to be. This is going to sound weird.
No, it's okay.
Okay, but bear with me.
Shoot.
They need to be a little bit of a dick. Like slightly kind of an asshole.
Why?
Because I tend to be that sometimes.
Okay, so you need a friend
that has... They need to be able to hang with my level of... To me, it's humor.
Yeah.
They need to be able to understand me.
So what you value most in a friend is someone who has a similar sense of humor to yourself.
It is detrimental, or it's just not going to work out between me and the person.
Gotcha. That's a good one.
Yes. What about you? What's the quality that you seek?
There are a lot of good qualities and that I require in a person, or I prefer to have in a person. But as far as a really close friend, I think over time, the most valuable part of a friendship... What?
I'm just waiting because I feel like you're about to describe me.
Oh.
And
well,
I'm wondering how you're going to describe me.
Technically, I can't describe you because you don't fall under the list of qualifications that would make this a quality that we'd be able to test. But just listen. Hear me out.
I'm listening. You asked me. Go ahead.
Gosh.
Continue.
I think the most valuable aspect of a friend, or valuable trait in a friend, is the ability to pick up where you left off, even if it's like 5 years.
Oh, yes. I know that trait you're
You
talking
know,
about.
where there's no weird guilt about not talking for a long time, where there's no misunderstanding as to where you stand. It's
That's a hard one to find, actually.
Well, unfortunately, you don't know until you're away from somebody for a long time, you know? So,
Because someone can be a really good friend, but lack that quality. You know what I mean? Like, just because it doesn't mean that they're a bad friend overall if they don't have that quality. That's a very bonus quality to find in someone.
it's the most valued, I think.
That is
but
a very
not,
good one.
Not the most important.
No, I wouldn't say it's most
I
important.
mean, the
but
most
it's
important would
got
mean
a
that
lot
they're
of value.
alive, right? They have to be alive.
Well, for it even to begin, there
Right.
has to be life.
See? So that would be the most important, really.
I guess.
See?
Yes. Okay.
Technically, right?
Alive. Well, when it comes to friendship, can you befriend something that's not alive?
I guess you can consider it a friend, like a tree's alive.
What about a rock? Can you actually really become friends with a rock and build a friendship relationship?
You live
with
in
it?
your own reality, so I guess to you it could be.
You could, right? You can have imaginary friends.
I'm pulling out a little bit of Chris Trujillo right now. He's been on the podcast a couple times, but he's all about the technicality and making sure that if you're going to make a blanket statement, that you have to make sure that all your bases are covered, because he will find the one that you didn't. So that's the logic that I'm actually using right now.
The internet in general is very. You have to be careful with blanket statements, like you said.
Absolutely.
Make sure it encompasses everyone. But at the same time, this is our podcast, so
I have a friend
speak your mind,
coming.
good friend.
You don't know this, but I have a friend coming the week after I get back from my vacation for between 1 and 2 weeks.
Oh, how fun.
Her name is Katie, and I'm super excited. We went to high school together. I haven't seen her in many years. And once in a while, I'll accidentally hit like that Facebook like call over Messenger thing, you know, when we're talking, and then we'll end up talking, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, what's up? Totally. Oh, what's she up to now? It's not ever like, so hi. Wasn't sure if I should get a hold of you or not. I know we haven't.
So she has that quality you were talking about.
Yeah, a lot of them do. You know, Adam actually has that quality. There was a time where we didn't speak for about a year. We touch base every once in a blue moon. We had our own lives going on, but I have a lot like that. And they're very valuable. And over time, they become really low maintenance friends that are just kind of multi-purpose and all over, just important to me.
They probably tend to be longer lasting friends for most people.
Well,
the
yeah,
ones who
anything
have
that takes
quality.
less maintenance is going to last longer.
Yeah.
Anything easier, it's more sustainable, don't you think?
In general, yeah, I would agree.
So do you have any friends that are completely like opposite of you? Or do you tend to surround yourself with people who are mostly just like you?
No, I mean, I have a mixture. I would say that I mix it up. I tend to have more of the same quality of friend, but they have different qualities. So let me explain, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. We have a common thing that we actually say here at the Millennial House, and that is each of us, me, you, and Adam, we work so well together because we all contribute something different to the equation. So while we are all like-minded people, and we all are fairly intellectual and can keep up with each other in conversation, and we have similar, things that we enjoy and stuff like that. We're similar people, but we each have qualities that are different that contribute to making the whole thing better.
Right.
You know what I mean? So same thing with other friends in my life. I'm very much a person where I seek out whatever I am lacking. So you have to kind of like bring something to the table,
Right.
if you're going to be friends with me.
Do you do that consciously, or do you think it's subconsciously? It just kind of works that way.
No, I think I actually do it consciously because I think about it.
Okay.
I will actually seek out people who I feel will benefit parts of my life that are lacking.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It's interesting because I tend to have a lot in common with people, and that's what tends to bring us together. There's common interests is what tends to bring me and someone together. It's not so much circumstance. I'm friends with you through circumstance.
Yeah, it's either similar interests with you, or you also have a very nurturing, like a nature to you. So I would say that there is a little more situation than what you say, because a lot of times you meet people and they're in a situation where they're having a rough time or something, and you help them out, and you make very good friends through that too.
So that means technically, I guess I would be or subconsciously, maybe consciously, looking for people that are not the same as me.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I'm definitely not trying to speak for you by any means.
No,
you
it's
know
good
yourself.
input.
But just from what I've seen, there's quite a few friends around you who are so close to you because you've helped them throughout their life.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Yeah.
It's interesting because I've had a lot of friends in my life that I've met because we have some things in common. And then as soon as we do not have these things in common, like one, say, like political views, right?
Sure.
As
those can be a little rough with you.
They can.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, I don't feel that I am super right or super left or even that much in the middle. It really depends on the issue, right? So
Right.
if I meet somebody, and the issues at hand tend to make me lean a little bit left, me and these people all get along really well. As soon as the hot issues tend to be, issues that I feel the conservatives have a little bit more, accuracy on or effectiveness or whatever, I lose the people on the left. And that's a lot of things. That's if you're really interested in a hobby and then you kind of fall out of it. I have some friends like that I haven't talked to in a long time. So I guess it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, there is a certain like community when it comes to friendship, right? If you don't interact with your friends, then obviously that relationship is going to maybe not die out, but it will become slightly weaker over time because you're not interacting with it.
Well, think about this too. As far as you look for people like you or not like you, do you think you could functionally live, because there are 4 people in this house, do you think you could functionally live in a house with 4 yous?
Ooh. No. In any relationship, I think there has to be some differences.
Absolutely.
And really, I mean, roommates is still a relationship.
I could live with as much of a pain in the ass that you are, which you're not really. You're not.
I can be.
I could live with 3 yous before I could personally ever live with 3 me's. 100%.
Yeah, a person just has to have that little bit of difference. You know what I mean? You would almost get annoyed with yourself.
Absolutely.
I would get annoyed with myself.
How do you find your place when there's 4 of the same thing?
It's hard to find any kind of community when it's just yourself. It would be so lonely.
If somebody's a really alpha
yous.
person and there's 4 of them, someone has to be,
It's a community.
beta, gamma, and delta or whatever.
Yeah. Humans are definitely meant to be in communities and have a place in them. And having roommates in a household is a community.
And it forces you to find a place. It doesn't have to be like a higher or lower place, but you have to have a niche.
Well, particularly because it's your home. The place where you go to get away from the world and the dangers and the anxieties.
Plus,
you can't feel out of place there.
Knowing your place just kind of gives you a little bit more security, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yes.
For anyone out there who does not know this already, Matthew does a tremendous job, physically keeping up this house.
Well, thank you.
You do fantastic. It's always beautiful.
My mother taught me well.
This guy can clean. This guy can garden. Let me tell you, I can rest assured everything's good. And he's a good every morning dog sitter for me. Definitely goes by the notions.
Oh, you are just spoiling me with compliments.
Well, I just happen to really appreciate you right now, I guess.
Well, thanks, man.
You guys all know Cowboy, the bulldog, and one of the
Mr.
thumbnails.
Cowboy.
Matthew and him are really close. He and Matthew are really close. They spend a lot of time together here at the house.
Every day, I'm with Mr. Cowboy,
He loves you.
the cats. It's funny. We always say with Mr. Cowboy. Well, you always say that he loves you more But if there was ever a choice that he could only live with me or with you, he would love you more while he went to live with me. And he'd be like, it's nothing personal. It's
My life will just be easier.
my life would
this
just,
way.
it's just easier.
I don't think that would have been the case if you never needed to feed him. But now that he understands that both of us are completely capable of sustaining his life and you're just make life easier.
Right. And by easier, we mean I have a much
Passive.
softer level of discipline. I do not discipline the same way that most people do.
My dog knows when I'm pissed. Matthew's key phrase is to kiss the naughtiness away, and he doesn't realize that does not
We
work,
kiss the naughtiness away.
especially with the bulldog. They're a very stubborn breed.
They are literally bully dogs.
Yeah.
They're bully dogs.
Give them an inch, they take the whole football field. Or a mile, whatever comes first. Football field comes first. Well, you seem to really do well with animals. They all love you. They all want to go to your bedroom. What about people? Do you feel that you make friends easily with people?
Most of them, yes. Yeah, I feel that I'm definitely a people person. I enjoy people, so I think that would help, right? I'm also super vain in myself, so of course I'm going to say that everyone loves me. You know what I mean? Because in my perspective, everyone does love me. But I'm sure there's many people who I'm not the bee's knees for them. But I don't ever experience any of that throughout my daily life. I don't ever notice that someone doesn't like me. In general, I feel that people are happy when they're around me, and I'm an entertainer. If not a good one, I'm one. So I like to make people happy.
Very nice. I think very seldomly does this happen, but ditto.
Yeah,
I think that, yeah.
It's funny. It doesn't happen very often.
Right. I think I make friends pretty easily. And for most of my life, I never had an issue with people not liking me. But now that I look back and think about so many cringy moments in my life and know how I react to people who produce such cringe, I'm pretty sure I was slightly delusional. I'm pretty sure at some point I was just so cringy that I just didn't even realize that these people couldn't stand me.
I know that I definitely do, and I think you do too, because we have kind of a similar personality at times. We tend to fall victim to being that guy relatively often. As much as we could be the life of the party and oh, that guy, we can also be that guy who's just embarrassing himself at the bar or just puts
I
his
can be
foot
that guy.
in his mouth at the pool table. You know what I mean? And we fall victim to that more often than most people do. Just because of our tendency to kind of go outside of our boundaries.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I have the worst filter when it comes to that, especially if I have a few drinks or anything like that.
Me too.
Okay, so the banter or just kind of talking shit at beer pong is a big one in college.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, people would be like, you suck. You're never going to make it. And I'd be like, you're the fattest bitch in Alpha Phi and nobody wants to have sex with you. Isn't that sad? You're the only bitch in your sorority that nobody wants to have sex with. Fuck you, fat bitch. Booyah.
Booyah.
Balls back. And I didn't actually mean to be mean.
No, you just took it to another level.
Right.
Without realizing you were doing it.
So I look back and I'm like, really? So I don't ever think I was that guy, even though I totally was that guy.
So that is a perfect example of what I originally meant when you asked me what's my favorite quality. And I said the person needs to be a little bit of a dick, kind of an asshole. That's what I mean, is they need to be intellectual enough to be slightly socially awkward sometimes. Does that make sense? That they need to be able to put their foot in their mouth and sometimes be to escalate things like what you were just saying. That is what makes a good friend for me. And that's probably why we work well.
You fucking slimy, slippery scruff worm. You're fucking nasty. Really? That's what attracts you to people.
The worst insult, I think, and it's from a Christmas song.
You just fart?
No, that was the chair. My foot just went across the chair. Is rotter. In the Grinch song, they go, "You're a rotter, Mr. Grinch." And I always thought that was just the deepest level of just you're fucking garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a hell of an insult. You're a rotter.
But if you ever called me a rotter and I was in that mode where I was super fucked up, I would make you feel like such an idiot.
True.
Oh, everyone really knows what you mean by that, Matthew. I'm a fucking rotter, or you're a piece of shit, and I pretty much own you, you bitch. So shut your mouth, Matthew.
And I'd be like, oh yeah, no one knows it because nobody knows one of the most famous fucking Christmas songs in all of history that they've made multiple movies about.
And then I'd be like, wait, stop. Who here knows a Christmas song with the word rotter in it? Fuck you, loser. See?
I feel like
we're saying the F word a lot.
Yeah, it's okay. We do
I know, but I just don't like cussing a lot on public forums.
My mom does listen to this. Sorry, Mom.
Mama-san. Sorry, please forgive me, Mama-san.
My mom's French. We love her.
She literally sounds like that. It's hilarious.
We love her. Well, anyway, next question.
Yeah,
we've digressed enough on that one.
What we did. What are the most common reasons for friendships to fall apart? There are a lot.
Sleeping with the other friend's significant other.
Common? You call that a common one, or like a sure reason for that to fall apart?
I think it's more common than you're thinking in this moment.
Really?
It happened to me.
No, I understand that.
And I'm a pretty common person.
No,
I don't even get
weird.
out that much.
You're pretty weird. You're I think people like you are more prone to doing something like that.
It was just one time. It was an accident. I tripped. But anyway.
Okay.
I think it's at least an assured way. That's definitely going to end a friendship.
I mean,
there.
You answered very fast.
It was the first thing I thought of that will most certainly end a friendship. I guess the most common thing would probably be like moving away, right? Like a long distance thing. Distance probably does it.
A lack of accessibility, or the out of sight, out of mind situation.
What's a strange or outside of the box way that you have lost a friend or had a relationship fall out in the past?
Wow. Okay. So I knew this guy and this girl, they were married. We had them over a lot because they lived in America.
Lived in America. Okay.
Somewhere near me.
You almost slipped.
I almost slipped. Anyhow, so they'd come over a lot, and the husband was an artist, and he was an aspiring tattoo apprentice. He had not yet become an apprentice.
Okay.
He was trying to become an apprentice. So he was doing a lot of free work at a tattoo shop, like sweeping and stuff and tracing stencils, I think. I don't know what somebody who is trying to be an apprentice.
He's trying to get his foot in the door.
Right.
Gotcha.
So Friday the 13th, we were invited to go to, the Friday the 13th thing, the $13 tattoos with a $7 tip. So it's $7.
Right. It's $20 for a tattoo. Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually do them because the tattoos are garbage. And I happened to find one that I liked. It was the Mad Hatter hat.
I was going to say, is that where you got your Mad Hatter?
Yeah,
that is.
It was the Mad Hatter hat, and I had never ventured off my left arm or back or chest. Is it kind of up there in the north, east-ish part of my body? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a statement of some kind on my leg.
Okay.
So it'll start with the Mad Hatter hat. I thought, eventually we get like, we're all mad here, like around it, and then it'll turn into like
an Alice in Wonderland,
or a trippy leg sleeve, or Disney leg sleeve, or fantasy, or whatever.
How did it turn out, Justin?
Well, I will say it looked like a misshapen shot glass on a little plate that was still too small for it. It was awful. It looked terrible.
Oh.
An outline, it was horrible, no shading. And I understand it's a $20 tattoo, but sure. I'm at least entitled to the picture that I saw that it was going to be. Right. That's what you think you're paying for. Well, anyhow, as I was leaving and wanting to cry, I saw this tremendous line of people, right? It was just around the block. And I'm thinking, these poor fucking people, they are going to get a tattoo like this.
Yeah.
And they're waiting.
They're going to be pissed.
Till like 5 a.m. or cry like me. I wasn't mad. I was sad. This is on me, Yeah. I was devastated. So I wrote on the Facebook page that was advertising the event. Mm-hmm. All I said was the place looked nice. The event looked very well organized.
You did the 2 positives and 1 negative.
I was treated very well. It was like very 6 positives. Okay. But I said, do not go to this artist, because this is one that I went to and I got botched. This is what I wanted and this is what I got. I said, on the other hand, my roommate's tattoo came out fantastic. So it's probably just this artist. Well, these people, one guy who doesn't even work there, and then his wife, who was working the event with him, decided to completely unfriend me and tell me what a piece of shit that I was and how awful I was and I'm going to hell and whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm thinking, I said nothing but good things about the place. Just one lady who worked there, and she did butcher me, and it's on me and it's not you. But it never really repaired. And I was thinking, wow, I've never had anybody who, one, just refused to have a grown-up conversation about it. Two, I was more willing to apologize just to put it out because I thought I had no idea how inflammatory it was going to be. Thought I was helping the hundreds and hundreds of people in the line.
Right. Well, it's a legitimate review.
Sorry for the long wind, but to me that is by far the strangest reason I was able to lose a friendship. Yeah, I was, but good riddance because you know they were kind of stupid, like fake liberals and just dumb.
Well, I mean, everything happens for a reason, but that is a very outside of the box way to have a relationship breakdown.
Yes. So they were pretty weird. Now, or strange. This is going to take us into our next question.
Ooh, how lovely.
So who is your strangest friend and what makes this person strange? Go.
Currently or ever?
Start with one, and then we'll see if it was a short answer, and we'll go to the second one. Go.
Okay, well, my strangest friend ever was also one of my most beloved friends I've ever had.
Awesome.
And I still consider a friend to this day. Another one of those where you could be not talking for a long time and then talk, and he's got that quality. Okay. So he was just an interesting character. Just one of those, like, socially awkward. It was the person that I kept track of shitting my pants with. It was that person.
Okay.
Yeah. So for things like that, instances like that. And it's one of my most beloved friends. Yes, because I was able to get to that level with him, so it made it very interactive to be his friend.
Okay.
But we would do things like go to the fair, and we wouldn't ride the rides. We would, like, buy a crossbow and the Zelda shield, and then, like, pretend to interact with as, like, Zelda.
That's weird. You know what I mean? That's
stuff like that.
Weird.
Stuff like that. So just for me, it was great. I enjoyed him, but other people probably thought he was very weird.
Interesting. Okay, so that was your weirdest friend ever.
That was probably my weirdest friend.
Okay, I feel like I would know all your friends now. So who's your weirdest friend now?
Now? Well, we'll just keep it between the Millennial group. And I would say it's a close mix between...
Between the Millennial group?
Yeah, that's pretty much my friends now.
So me or Adam?
Well, no, there's Vince, Kyle, Chris.
Oh, okay, cool. I was going to say, because it can't be a close, No,
there's a couple of the Millennial group here.
Okay.
I would say that it's a close tie between Vince or Adam.
Okay.
Is the weirdest. And I'm going to say that Vince probably takes the lead.
Vince is for sure the weirdest.
Again, what's ironic about this, and a trend I'm finding, is Vince and Adam are both my more beloved of all the Millennials, with Vince taking slightly the lead. Vince is probably my most beloved of all the Millennials.
Okay, Vince has a amazing heart.
I love that dude. He's great.
Amazing heart.
He's hilarious.
He's definitely well researched on what he talks about, and I appreciate that very much. And his thoughts, his talking points are always very well thought out.
He's just hilarious and genuine and just happy. Every time you see him, he's happy, and it makes you happy. He's a great guy. For knowledge, I go to Kyle. Kyle is my well of knowledge.
Okay.
He's definitely, I think he's the smartest millennial.
How come I'm not your wheel of knowledge?
I think I take you for granted because I'm just always around you.
Oh, okay.
But you're pretty good. You're the bee's knees.
Well, thank you, man.
Well, there you go. I told you all of my deep, dark secrets. Your turn.
About weird friends?
Yeah, who's the weirdest millennial?
I think you are the weirdest millennial.
I agree.
I think you are definitely the weirdest millennial. Because you don't often just say anything. There's always some bizarre subtext or ulterior motive to your sentences. And you have to make sure you are not being made a fool. Not that anyone cares whether Matthew thinks that you're a fool or not, or made a fool of you, but you can't let Matthew have the satisfaction. So fuck you, Matthew. I know your language, bitch.
And I do appreciate that about you. It makes it more fun.
I'd say that of my close friends, you're my strangest friend now.
Really? I even take the cake of all your friends.
Currently, that I see regularly.
Love it.
Like if I was prepping someone to meet you.
You have to prep people to meet me?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Well, I just kind of have to explain your humor a little bit, because sometimes you're going to be really like generic when you first meet somebody and just give them the normal hi, how are you, I'm Matthew, nice to meet you. But sometimes you go immediately into troll town.
I told you it's very necessary that you have a little bit of dickishness in you.
I know, but
hang out with me.
I just let people know before that you find that necessary.
Is that not a common thing? I guess it's not. It's hard to find.
No,
other
I
people
think
like
it's
that.
common for someone to want to be around someone else who has their dark and what's the word, like a almost derogatory sense of humor.
Yeah, people have to understand that I'm joking a lot of the time.
Yes.
Most of what I say, however it be said, most of what I say is I don't mean a lot of what I say.
And I know that
joking.
immediately. So what happens is I listen to you say something really stupid or passive aggressive, and I immediately turn my head to see, okay, did they catch that? Are they understanding that he, because I speak the language, and sometimes I'll speak for you. Sometimes I'll fill in between the lines for them.
That's good to know. It's interesting.
My strangest friend I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm going to say his name because I think he would love so much. We're not friends anymore. I haven't seen him in years, but I'll never forget him. Adam knows him. His name is Max Tsai, Tsai.
Oh my!
Feel free to look him up.
Spelled it and everything.
Oh man, he is
boy.
something else. We rushed him because we just thought he was a funny little Asian kid.
Shout out, Max. We love you, bro.
Oh, Max, you are hilarious. One day he showed up with full-blown, like, purple smoky eye makeup to an event. And I said, what is wrong with you? Why are you wearing that, Max? And he goes, oh, it's Kesha Day.
Like
I said,
singer?
according to who? He goes, according to me. Today I'm celebrating Kesha. He's not gay or anything. He's just weird.
And it was just
full eye
made his
makeup,
own
and he,
day,
for whatever reason, he loved Kesha. Another day, we needed someone to move into an upstairs room. We were filling a big house we lived in Los Angeles, and it pretty much revolved around me because I was one of the older. Like I lived there the longer.
Oh, imagine that, something revolving around you.
I was recruiting the people to move in.
Never happens.
And so I was like, do we have an open room? Max responded. He moved in. It wasn't a week later. We realized that the entire time we've been talking to him, he has this new thing where he just doses himself daily with LSD. So he's always kind of tripping balls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But not
That's
like
a fun one.
There's a
you always
trend
find
where people
really
do
weird
that.
roommates.
Oh, I do. I manage
pick
that.
winners.
Well, I'm from Los Angeles. It just comes to me. And one day we found him just taking a permanent marker and just drawing on the wall, like really into it, artistically planning it out. And we're thinking like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Oh my gosh.
And he thought that was normal. He was so upset to know that he did something wrong. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But
It's like a
Max
child
Tsai,
at that
you are a weirdo. And you know what, man? You are going to be forever remembered. I have to say, you
That's
did your
something,
job,
right?
bro. Because he just wants to be memorable. So he just doesn't care.
I love it. I feel like everyone has that weird friend. If you have a weird friend out there and you're listening to this right now, hashtag weird friend.
And their first and last name.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that.
What if they want to be recognized?
Just hashtag weird friend. And
Okay.
maybe their initials. And then they'll know, but the world won't know.
What about good friends? Do you feel that you're a good friend?
Good friends are forgettable, aren't they? because they're not an issue in your life, so you never really think about them.
Yeah, but a
All they
good
do is
friend
help.
could save you from some serious shit.
True that. So, okay, let's be serious for a minute here, because I was joking. Good friend. Do you mean good as in you really, really like them, or do you mean good for you? Like good for your life?
What are
you asking?
a good friend, someone that truly rose above what they really were expected to do for you.
Okay, so that could even mean something
Like,
hard.
have
something
you
that you
ever
didn't
been? Have you ever been like dumbfounded, blown away, super surprised at how kind a friend was to you, then they really didn't have to be?
Yes.
Care to share?
Yes. I had one friend in high school who literally would just let me live in his house. He lived in like the guest house of his parents. And it was a situation where his parents were gone a lot. And we went to the same school, but many times I would not go to school. And I would spend the night at his house, and he would get up, and he'd be like, okay, I'm going to school. Are you coming with me? And I'd be like, nah. He'd be like, okay. And just total trust. Would just leave me in his house. Never, like, hid stuff or what, like, just complete trust. So that was really cool. That was nice. Good guy. You know who you are if you're listening to this. Shout out.
Do you think you're a good friend?
I try to be.
When are you not?
Well, I'm willing to admit that I can be selfish. I can be a little bit of a taker sometimes. So in my mind, sometimes I get into a feeling of that I give a lot, so I justify taking sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take in this time, and it's okay because I gave so many other times. So doing that is okay, but doing that consciously is kind of shitty, and sometimes I consciously do that. So I'm willing to admit that I'm a little bit selfish sometimes. But I mean, I think honestly, in my opinion, everyone has selfish moments, so it doesn't make me any worse of a friend than anyone else. So I would say that honestly, yes, I think I'm a good friend. I think that I bring value to another person if I'm their friend.
I think being a good friend depends on the person you're being a friend to, too. I mean, you're going to be a good friend to some, and you're just not going to match up, you know, with another friend as much. So I think part of that just comes in the personality.
What about those situations where, like, have you ever found yourself where you're friends with someone and then their lifestyle begins to become, like, toxic? And it's actually more beneficial to them to stop hanging out with them? Like, the
Yes.
better thing to do in the relationship
But that's
is to
being a good
stop
friend.
hanging. Yes, like, and that's actually the good friend thing to do.
Yeah, otherwise you're an enabler.
That's a rough one, though, because they always lash out when you do that and make you feel as if you're not being a good friend.
Well, that means that they're not being a good friend. So if they were answering this question, they would have to answer yes or no and explain that situation. See?
Right, right.
I think I'm a good friend. When it comes down to the general like conditions of a friendship, I try to look very objectively, not subjectively. So do
I
they
think
do
you're a
anything
good
wrong
friend.
to me? No. Okay. Do they add anything to my life? Yes or no? Then they have every reason for me to be their friend. You know, best friends is a little bit different.
Yeah, there's definitely different levels. You have close friends and you have best
So when does
friends.
someone go from an acquaintance to a friend? I think we've actually touched on this a little bit. I kind of remember that, but what do you think it is?
I could touch on it again. It goes with the flow today. I mean, for me, it's pretty instant. It's kind of right off the bat. Like, usually as soon as I meet someone, I pretty much know how far into a relationship with that person I want to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that you want to go, but
That I want to go. Maybe not that I will. And actually, there's been many times in my life where, like, some of my best friends I've had, I actually seeked them out. Like, I saw them from afar. There was something about them that I idolized, that I looked up to, or I wanted to be like. And so I seeked that person out. And through
Okay.
doing that, ended up becoming their friend, and they were some of the best friends that I've had.
well, because you had value for them immediately.
Yes, I want to be their friend. Other than that, I'm a person, even when it comes to, like, romantic relationships or friendship ones, I'm not someone who tries real hard. Usually they'll come to me, but every now and then someone will walk by and I'll just get a tickle. I'll be like, you're gonna be my friend.
So what are the differences right now between your friends and your acquaintances?
Well, I mean, an acquaintance is someone who you just met, right? So it's someone you're
No, an acquaintance is just somebody that you know. You've been acquainted with them, the person you see at the store. But an acquaintance, like I feel that people at work, a lot of them are my acquaintances, and they're great acquaintances. I wouldn't go and hang out with them after work.
Oh, right. So I guess that would be it. Is if I actually enjoy being around them.
If you would really invest any of your own time to be around
through
them.
my own choice.
Okay.
Yes. If it was non-obliged, would I choose to just hang out with them?
Oh, I think the point we discussed before on another podcast was where has the concept of acquaintances gone? Everyone's either your friend or your best friend.
Yes.
We've removed a level.
So I also feel that, and I've actually been told this by people, that I have a tendency to, as soon as I meet someone, just the way that I interact with people is like I've known you for years. So I'm very, I guess it would be like a cut to the chase kind of thing. Like I'm very open with people right off the bat when meeting them. And I'm like that kind of concept of how's your family, how you doing, where you been, and things that you would ask someone who you've known a long time. I'll develop inside jokes with people very quickly.
Okay.
So I kind of skip that like acquaintance level. For me, an acquaintance is like a customer at work.
So you're either going to be a friend or you're going to be like nobody to you.
Yeah, I'm just not going to invest any energy into it at all.
We definitely open up quick. Like within the first 5 minutes I met you, you told me that you were gay, and I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was fantastic. I think you
misheard me.
No, I think that you really wanted to let me know that because I am. And I never would look at you as an attractive, physically attractive person. Gay. I never would have been with you by any means whatsoever. But I appreciated the trust.
You know how they say that, like, in elementary school, when the girl has a crush on the boy and she pushes him down in the sandbox? Mm-hmm. You've pushed me down a few times today, bro.
That's just a hobby.
Or an obsession.
Push it down, you push it down.
It would make sense. They say that rejection leads to obsession. And
no wonder you're obsessed with me. The amount of times
I've rejected you. No, you can't beat me to my own punchline.
Yes, I can.
That's not fair.
I totally can.
I was already in middle of speaking.
Next question.
Find a good one, because we only have time for like one or two more here.
All right. Let's think of a good one. What is a big favor that you've done for a friend? And or a big favor a friend has done to you. Whatever one is the most interesting or most touching or moving.
A big favor?
Like something way out of the Call of Duty. Way beyond the Call of Duty.
Well, like 2 days after I got my driver's license, I helped a friend move a refrigerator across town, and I was terrified. I was totally terrified, and it was late at night. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I had to go to this shady part of town and like hitch it into this truck and then drive, and I went like 10 miles an hour the whole time because I was terrified because I had just gotten my driver's license. So that was a time that I did a big favor. A time that someone did a big favor for me. I don't have like one that really sparkles. Do you have a good one?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
For you.
Oh, when you did a big favor for me?
Yes.
You did. You saved me from a sticky situation.
What kind of sticky situation?
Well, I had found myself in a place in life that wasn't working for me, and you pulled me out of that. You saved me from it. I appreciate that.
How did I pull you out of it?
You gave me a place to live.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which was very nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Who's done something really nice for you?
I think if I could, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. This is a theme in every podcast. He's my best friend, and he is also the love of my life. I told him on one of our very first dates that I've always wanted to go to Southeast Asia. And as soon as those tickets drop below a certain amount of money, without any hesitation, he made my dream come true, and now we're going to be going soon. So to me, that's a big one. It's a huge one.
That is a big one. That's amazing.
Yeah, it literally never would have happened. I mean, not never, but our trip now, couldn't have happened. In college, there was one point where one of my friends, something didn't work out. He didn't get his financial aid, and he needed, I think it was $1,580 or $1,850 or something. And my financial aid had already come in, so I paid his tuition with my student loan money. And then not expecting to get paid back because all we knew was he didn't get his money.
Right.
So, I mean, I think a couple months later, he ended up getting his money, and he...
That's cool. That was very nice of you. Jeez.
And he paid
for someone in school. It's amazing.
Well, he was so absolutely incredibly talented, and to me, it just seems so strange for somebody so talented to not be able to finish school on account of a mix-up on financial aid. I just thought if I can make sure this, it's fixed for him, it'll probably save him a tremendous amount of backtracking in his life. So, and now he's killing it. He's a professional musician, pianist, singer in Los Angeles, and I feel like I was a part of that.
Hell yeah, you were. That's amazing. Good job. Good job.
Do you have time for another one?
We have time for one more. What's
okay?
Gonna end it for the day today?
Let's see. I think I'm gonna go with what is the most annoying kind of friend you can have? Like that guy, and you can't shake them, but they're just the most annoying kind of friend you could ever have. I'll go first here if you want.
Okay, go ahead. Go first.
I'm going to give a kind of friend, not a person, obviously. Okay. So, unfortunately, there's a name for this friend that I made up. This kind of friend. In college, we'd call them loser type.
Loser type?
Yeah, so check it out. I'm going to just give a scenario. You have a friend from home and you've been friends with them for like a really, really long time and they're really sweet, but they never, ever, ever adopted that cool factor. So like you'd hang out with them a lot when you were younger. And as we're all kind of growing and changing, you're realizing, oh, if we didn't grow up together and we met now, I probably would never be your friend. But who cares, right? Because here you are and you love them so much. So then you go on vacation. Say you go to like Ibiza, Spain, to like a rave, and you meet some really cool people, and you just think they're so cool, and you want them to like you, right? And you never thought you'd ever like really get their attention. This didn't happen. It's just for some reason coming to me so clearly.
Yeah, you're very, very.
I know.
Detailed. Okay.
How weird.
Sometimes an artist just paints.
Yeah. So anyway, the rave's over. You camp the night, and then in the morning you leave, and they're like, "Hey man, you're really, really cool. Where are you from?" And you're like, wherever, Los Angeles. And like, we'd love to come visit you. We're going to be in America like next year. And you're like, awesome. Can we stay with you? Hell yeah, you can stay with me. Oh my God, these really cool people are going to stay with me. They're so cool. And then they come and you have to introduce them to your friend.
Who's just a little
Or
awkward.
else you're a dick. Because if they're there for 2 weeks and you're showing them around, are you just not going to answer your friend's phone calls?
Right.
Are you just not going to tell them what you're doing for 2 weeks? So that's annoying. To me, the loser type, in the most loving sort of way, okay, is why I call them that. But they are the most annoying kind of friend.
So I guess mine is similar. Is similar to that. It would be the person who doesn't pick up on verbal cues.
Oh,
so
yes.
like I do like if you're trying to make something seem a little better than it really is. So for example, instead of telling someone, if you meet a pretty girl at the bar or out when you're out or something, you tell her, I co-run a media company with my roommate. And then the guy is like, oh no, it's just a YouTube channel with 87 subscribers. You know what I mean?
You're like, damn it.
Damn it. Yeah, the guy who you're just like, damn
Social
it all
cock
the time.
block.
Yes, where they just don't know when to play along. Or if you get pulled over and the cop's like, do you know how fast you were going? And you're like, no, I don't. And the guy's like 55 in a 40. You know, just he can't like just lie sometimes.
He
You know,
doesn't
he's just super
understand
straight
what the
edge.
best manipulation for this situation would be.
Yes.
Dude, so I was that when I was a kid. My parents,
Oh gosh, they're obnoxious.
my parents would go like, you know, buy a new refrigerator, and they would buy like, this was when we didn't have as much money, so they buy the floor model. So say it's a $2,000 refrigerator, but you got it for $750, right? So, you know, we invite people over. They's like, oh, this is a beautiful fridge. Yeah, we just got it. Where? Oh, so-and-so. I saw this fridge. It was like $2,500. And they were like, yeah, it was a pretty penny. And then I'd be like, nuh-uh, you got it as a floor model. It was only $750. Liar. Mr. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
And then you just want to smack that kid. It's
Well,
like,
somebody should have.
it doesn't actually matter to the story.
And of course, I think I'm the most loved child in the universe. That's one of those cringy moments. You look back and think, okay, no, there was a reason for people to not like me. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure I've had a lot of those moments too.
Yeah, you've had them since you've lived here.
Well, I haven't looked back on those yet.
Well, I have.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, good. Well, guys, I think that is probably going to do it for today. I have actually had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to have talking about Friends for an hour.
Oh, fantastic. You're all my friends. If you want to be my friend, hashtag me too.
Just hashtag me too. TOO.
Want to wrap this up, Matthew?
Yes. So thank you so much for listening to us, guys. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, all the good stuff. We still got that Patreon going on. I don't, what is it? www.patreon.com/Harley Millennial. I think that's how it goes. I've listened to Adam say it a few times. I think that's it. Check it out. Let me know if I'm right.
Always a pleasure.
It's been fun, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.